Welcome to this edition of Berkshire Now News Magazine, where we explore news and views from around the Berkshires. This week, we explore a project that two North County Girl Scouts created for their Silver Awards. The Girl Scout Silver Award is the highest award a Girl Scout age 11 to 14 can earn. It is symbolic of accomplishments in Girl Scouting and community activities as a girl becomes her best self and begins to build the world around her. A major requirement is that the project benefits the community and can be accomplished as an individual as part of a group. Noelle, Dravis, and Emily Johnson undertook such a project in Williamstown. Welcome, girls. This is Emily and Noelle. They are in the Girl Scout troop, and they are working on their Silver Award. And which one of you came up with this idea for the story walk?
I think that was me. I mostly came up with the idea. Then we had actually had a silver project that we were working on before coronavirus. So then I told Emily about this project, and we decided to go through with it.
How did you come up with the idea?
I heard about this happening in other towns around here, and I thought since it wasn't happening around here, it'd be a good idea to make it happen.
Very good. And Emily, you joined right in and helped her. Do you guys work together a lot on projects?
Well, yeah, Girl Scout, us being the only people in our troop, yes, Girl Scouts, we do work together a lot. Yeah.
You mentioned you're the only ones in your troop?
Yes.
So it's a troop of two.
Yep. We used to have a lot more, but they all left.
Did they leave as a result of the coronavirus?
No, they left because they got more busy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we're going to high school this year, and they had a lot more commitments.
That's right. Now, you girls are what, 14 or 15?
14.
14, and you're going into ninth grade, I understand.
Yes.
And in person or home via Zoom?
I will be doing at home completely.
Uh-huh. And Emily, how about you?
I'd probably do via Zoom.
Via Zoom. Do you have a choice then to either go in or stay home?
I'm not sure. I don't think they've come up with something yet. I don't think we're certain on something.
It's complicated at the moment.
Yeah. It really is, isn't it?
There's a lot of details that haven't really been worked out.
And when school actually starts now, you said the 14th, so that's almost 4 weeks away. The coronavirus might be a lot more prevalent in our area by then, and so they'd have to change plans. So I understand how they might wait a little while before they make the final decision.
Yeah.
But you undertook this project specifically because you weren't able to do something else because of the coronavirus.
Yes. We had a project going on at our school that was working with kids in the special ed programs. And we were just getting into the swing of things when the coronavirus hit and school had to close.
Right.
So I wanted to incorporate abilities and disabilities into our project. And so this is how this project came about.
Right. I understand that, yes. So you came up with your project. How did you go about selecting where to put the story pages?
Well, I mean, I live in Williamstown, so we kind of decided to stick with Williamstown because there's a good central place, Spring Street. That's kind of like our downtown. There's a lot of businesses and good sidewalks. It's safe.
And we wanted to support small businesses as well as get our project in a place where a lot of people will go.
Right, it accomplishes both, doesn't it?
Yes.
That was a good idea. And have you had any feedback from the business owners?
Not much yet. A lot of them are very eager to do it. We haven't had feedback from I'm sure we'll get some when we go pick them up at the beginning of September as to how many people they saw do the story walk or how many people asked them about it. But we'll definitely learn more about that as the month continues.
Now, you selected a very specific book for displaying the pages. How did you come up with that decision?
Kirsten Rose at the Milne Library helped us out with the decision. This is the book, in case you didn't know.
Well, that's a big book.
Yeah, it's pretty big. We chose the book because it has a lot of kids of varying abilities and disabilities and a lot of diversity in the characters. And we thought it'd be good to show a children's book that's not all one type of person in it.
Right. And you know who the author is, obviously.
Yes.
Did that have any influence as to why you chose that book as well?
I think so. I mean, Sonia Sotomayor, Supreme Court Justice, we chose the book because, she has type 1 diabetes, and I also have type 1 diabetes, and I thought it'd be cool. I had no idea she wrote a book, and I thought it'd be interesting to read it. And then once I read it, I thought it'd be perfect for the project.
Just out of curiosity, what's the suggested age grouping for that book?
I think upper elementary school, lower middle school. It's not, I mean, it's a picture book, but it's fairly lengthy. Each page has a lot of words. It's not like a preschool book.
It's not like the book.
Right.
The book I read was very short.
Yes.
And then did you cut pages out of the book and display those, or did you photocopy and enlarge?
We ripped pages out of 2 books, so we would have a front and a back, and we just put those on a poster board, add a little glitter, and that was it.
Yeah. So we had to rip them right out of the book because if we photocopied them, we would have had to get permission from the publisher, and we didn't know how long that would take, and we wanted to get this project as soon as possible out to everybody.
When did the project start?
We started working on this in May, June, around then. But
Late May, early June.
Yeah, late May, early June.
And then it took about 6 or 8 weeks before you were able to get it into the stores.
Yes. So most of that was spent planning how we were going to put the boards together and how we were going to get the word out and working on getting businesses who wanted to participate. There was a lot of communication efforts put into this.
Let's dwell on that for a little bit. Getting the word out. You obviously were successful at that, but what did you do to make sure the success would occur?
Well, we started, if you're talking about getting the word out to the general public, we started a Facebook account to target all of our older audiences and an Instagram account to target all of our younger audiences. So we kind of made the account and then we promoted the account on our personal pages so people would go and look at it. And that's where all the information was.
And I assume the Scouts helped along with that as well. The organization itself, the Girl Scouts.
Not exactly. Girl Scouts, they didn't promote this. They normally don't promote specific award projects because there are a lot of girls doing other projects and it'd be kind of unfair for them to promote one but not the other. But we did go on WillieNet television and read books and promote our idea to get the word out, as well as our social media pages.
Yes. Now, your project, if I remember right, has 3 phases to it, or 3 sections.
Yes.
And phase 1 was the story walk. What were the other 2 phases?
It was WillieNet. It was reading the books on WillieNet and the Little Free Library.
So those were the 2 other additional phases.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about the library. There's some activity happening there very soon as well, right?
Yes. So back in 4th grade, we decided to do a project, and we created a Little Free Library out of actually Emily's old dollhouse. We painted it and fixed it up, and then we put it at Wild Oats so people can take a book, leave a book, just to get people reading more. And then it was starting to kind of fall apart this year, and we decided to make that one of our prongs to help them make it back into what it was, so it can still help our community.
So what was falling apart was the dollhouse and not the idea.
No. The physical library was falling
Right.
apart.
Library,
Right.
paint was peeling, and it was just all apart.
So yeah, the idea didn't die.
The idea didn't die. Yeah, we sold the spirit.
Right. Yeah, I just want to get clarification on that. I didn't think the idea died. It sounds like a great idea, but just in case there were some questions about which one you were talking about.
Right.
Great. What kind of feedback have you had from anybody? Anybody say, hey, what a great idea, or I walked by the store and I saw the pages and I was inspired by the book, or anything like that happening?
Well, when we first put it up, we did get a lot of feedback from people who really liked it, liked the idea. There's a lot of other little free libraries around the area that we saw, and we noticed people using them pretty often. And so people do like the idea of a library. And it's a very central location, Wild Oaks. A lot of people go to shop there. So,
what have you learned along the way? What lessons can you take with this onto your high school career and perhaps college? What have you learned?
There are a lot of things that make people different, and it doesn't necessarily have to be visible. It can be it could be a mental disability, anything, but you really shouldn't judge anyone based off of their abilities or disabilities.
I think one of the things I learned from this project was just how many moving parts there are to a project. Like when I first came up with the idea for this project, I thought it would be like really easy, kind of like just put some books in some windows. But then I realized there's so much more to it, and how many different parts there were to complete before it was finished.
So you enhanced your organizational skills, I imagine.
Yes.
And any help from outside, like your parents or siblings?
Well, both of our mothers are the leaders of the troops, so they kind of helped us with organizational skills. They helped us with coming up with some ideas. They helped us with a lot of things, and yeah, that's it.
We also had help from Kirsten Rose at the Milne Library, who helped us choose the book and helped us with all the copyright information on that. And the people at Wild Oaks also helped us to get the Little Free Library restored. And also the people at WillieNet Television, who helped us film the reading of our books.
What would you tell other scouts about how to prepare themselves for projects like this?
Well, it's a pretty big project, but it goes by in a flash. So basically, just go for it.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about the Silver Award. How does that work, and what does it entail? This is a Girl Scout award?
Yes.
Yes. So there are three types of Girl Scout awards. There's your Bronze Award, there's your Silver Award, and there's your Gold Award. The Bronze Award you're supposed to complete with the whole troop. Back when we had people last year, 2 years ago, we did the project with all of us. Now, since you have to do the Silver Award project with partners, since we were the only people in our group, we were partners. And so the Gold Award is something you have to do by yourself.
Any plans for your Gold Awards?
I don't know. I know I definitely want to do one. I want to help the community by doing Gold Award. I haven't really thought much about it yet. I just kind of want to get through this project first.
Sure. Yeah. Emily, any thoughts on your Gold Award project?
I mean, I've started thinking about it, but I don't really have any solid ideas yet. Anything that's like...
It is a little soon, so I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I apologize for that.
Well, it's okay.
Anything else that you'd like to have our viewers be aware of?
Doesn't take much to make a big change.
Doesn't take much to make a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of spreading awareness right now, and like during this time, we wanted to, have something that require a lot of meeting up with people. So, and we also wanted to just like spread awareness about abilities and disabilities.
Excellent. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Noelle Dravis.
And I'm Emily Johnson.
And we're here to unveil our new Little Free Library here at Wild Oats Co-op in Williamstown.
This Little Free Library is a part of our project called Project W.I.L.D. W.I.L.D stands for Williamstown Inclusivity, Literacy, and Diversity.
Under this tarp is our Little Free Library, which contains donated books from the community. And the Little Free Library works, you take a book and then you leave a book. So it's just a great way to help people have access to books, especially during this day and age with the coronavirus. So, should I keep going? Okay, without further ado, here is the Little Free Library.
Told you I would do this. Oh my God. Let's just pretend I cut it, okay? There we go.
Open the door.
Here's the inside. These are just some of the books that will be in there.
Interviews with store personnel revealed that the project was well received by visitors to the Spring Street shops that hosted the project in their front windows. The next level up in Girl Scouting is the Gold Award. We had the opportunity to interview Anna Welch about her project. So we're here with Anna Welch, and she is a former Girl Scout. I assume that now that you're in college, you're a former. And you also had a silver and gold project. Can you first tell us a little bit about what your silver project was?
So my silver project, we had like these classes at an elementary school, and we tried to promote fitness and health to children who maybe like didn't want to get involved in competitive sports, but still wanted to focus on like a healthier lifestyle. So we first put together like pamphlets, and then we taught a mini course at the elementary school that I went to, and it was called March Mini Courses because it was like in March after school. And the kids came once a week, and we tried to serve them like healthy snacks, like smoothies and fruits and vegetables, and tried to show them that like it's fun to like eat right and like what a balanced diet looks like. And then we also played we did like yoga one day, we did stretching. And I did it with one of my good friends who we played soccer together. We played sports together, and that was like important to us, was, you know, promoting that kind of lifestyle. And we had a lot of fun with it. I think the kids did too, because it wasn't like, you know, checking people in hockey or, you know, fouling people in basketball. It was a much more low key and inclusive environment. So I think that was beneficial too. And it was a lot less intense than just like a lecture. So I hope I got through to them, but that's what we did.
So tell me a little bit about how things were with the kids when they first started versus how it was when the project ended.
Well, when we first started, I think the kids were like, I don't know, they were definitely shyer with us. I mean, and I'll talk to anybody, and I don't, and they were kind of just like, oh, I don't really want to participate, you know, like, I mean, everyone was always super into the food, but the activities were sometimes a different story, and it's not just like coax kids to participate. But by the end, I think it was, it definitely was a much more competitive in a different way. You know, kids actually wanted to get involved. They wanted to learn the games we were playing. And that was really rewarding to see, because, you know, I actually felt like you were making a difference.
Cool. How long did the project last?
Well, I mean, the preparation is a whole nother story, but the project itself, I think we did 4 or 5 classes because it was just for 1 month.
Just for the month of March.
Yeah.
Now, that was not during COVID though, was it? That was a year before.
Oh my gosh. No, this was maybe my 8th grade year. So probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with the Silver Project, you and another scout have to do it together, right?
Well, you don't have to, but I like doing things with other people, so I wanted to do it with another person. it's nice. You can like split the work and the pressure and everything. But
cool. Now, later on, you had the Gold Project. And tell me a little bit about what that was.
So the Gold Award I had to do by myself, which I was definitely intimidated by because I like working with other people. It made me less nervous, but and it's 90 hours, which was also super nerve-wracking for me because I was like, what am I going to actually enjoy doing for 90 plus hours of my life? But then I was really close to my great aunt who was living in an assisted living facility. And one day she like pulls out this iPad that my grandmother gave her and she like, didn't know how to use it. And I was like, this must kind of be a problem around here. Like people probably don't really know how to like send texts or, call people. And so then after sitting with her for a little bit, I was like, I could turn this into a project. So I decided to go talk to the woman who was the activities director at her assisted living facility. And I was like, is there a need for that here? Like, do people struggle at all with technology? And she was like, oh, absolutely. They're like, they come down with their little track phones with their big buttons and they can't even use those, like forget iPhones. So I was like, oh, like that's really cool. Like they probably get lonely if they can, talk to people in person as often if they have relatives that live far away or, friends that live far away. So I ended up teaching a class and I was like, oh, like pop by if you're interested and like I can answer your questions. So there was like 10 people in this room and, I'm only one person. So then I tweaked it a little bit and I ended up having sessions where I met with each person individually and answered like their technology related questions. And then for the sustainability piece, I left a booklet there with like frequently asked questions that I had gotten, which like explained, what the buttons did on like the iPads or the phones. And then I also left a printer and computers that I'd gotten from my high school that they were getting rid of in case people didn't even have access to the technology. So I hope they still use them.
That's really interesting. Now, these are elderly people who don't even know what technology is sometimes.
Yes.
So what was it like having to instruct them? I mean, you must have had to come up with some clever ways of getting them to remember. What was that?
Definitely. Especially there was actually one woman who was, a little she had dementia. So I wrote everything down for her. I actually wrote most of it for all of them because a lot of them really couldn't remember. They would come back with the same questions. But I mean, as I know, even as a student, like writing things down is super helpful. So I would give them like little notes. It definitely was a test of patience though, because I'll be the first to admit I'm not always a patient person. So I'd be like, but they were cute and they were sweet. So it definitely helped me not get upset, but it's really nice. I still go back there to visit her and like some of the people I helped still remember. And that's really rewarding because they're adorable.
Now, were most of them men or women?
Actually, most of them were women, but there was one couple that actually came together, and the man was like, "Oh, I have a computer. Like, I know how to do this." And his wife was like, "Yeah, it's kind of true. Like, he knows everything, and I know nothing." And then he was like, and then I ended up teaching him too. So I think it actually made her feel better that he thought he knew everything, but then like I was actually helping both of them. So most of them were women. I think probably because I was a girl, so they felt, a little bit more comfortable, sitting with me. But I had both, but mostly women.
Now, you mentioned that you wrote things down and you showed them using, how to use the buttons and whatnot. Any other teaching aids that you employed?
I think I showed one. I think I used a YouTube video one time, and I like put the closed captions on, like everything. And the woman was like, "I like when you say it better." And I think it was just because when they watched the YouTube video, it wasn't like, like me actually, pushing the button and showing them. Like they really benefited from like the repetition and also the like the direct, contact and help. But yeah, so not really. I tried it, but it definitely was more beneficial when I just did it.
I understand. Yeah, the personal touch sometimes makes a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Although I spend a lot of time on YouTube and I learn tremendous amounts of information.
Me too.
Yeah. All right. So what did you learn about how important is the gold award to a Girl Scout? And then what did you learn from that?
I think the main thing that I learned from myself was that I could do something on my own. Definitely like the confidence factor was a big deal for me. And also you have to have like a lot of organization that I wasn't necessarily expecting. And you have to get the confidence to A, ask questions, and B, reach out to people. Like I'm always so scared that people are going to tell me no. So when at the initial meeting, sitting down with the director, I was so nervous. I was like, she's going to say no, like she's going to hate my idea. And, they loved it and they were so grateful that I thought of it. So it's definitely, it's little things like that, like, getting the courage to reach out to people that I learned from, because I also learned, like, if you don't ask, you'll never know, you'll never know if they need this or if, someone needs your help. And also, like, I even learned from, the residents, like how much I could impact them. Like I became their friend, and that was in and of itself, like a huge deal to me. So.
Now translate what you learned from that. You're just starting college. Basically, today was your first day of classes.
Yes.
Translate that to your college experience as you anticipate it unfolding in front of you.
Well, it's actually kind of ironic since most of my classes are online and I'm figuring out how to use that. But I think meeting people halfway is a huge thing that I need to remember. Like, I'm not going to hit it off with every person right off the bat. Like, I'll get frustrated like I did when they didn't realize that the accept button, the big green button in the center meant that they were accepting the phone call. Like, things like that. And, you're living with different people you've never met before. You're having classes with people that you've never met before, and just like being open to, to different people's ideas. That definitely helped too, because there are people who helped me along the way that gave me ideas that ended up helping me. So.
Any words of wisdom to other Girl Scouts that are about to embark on either a silver or gold project?
Well, I'll be very honest with you. I don't think anyone thought I was going to make it this far in Girl Scouts. I was not a camper. I was not a hiker. I didn't like any of that stuff, but there really is something for everyone. And there's something that everyone is passionate about. And if you find it and you channel it, you can make a difference in so many people's lives and you don't even know it yet. Like, as long as you find that passion point and you find what you like, someone else will like it just as much as you do. And that's important.
It sure is. Anna, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Good luck in college.
Thank you.
For more information about Girl Scouting, please contact your local troop leader or visit www.girlscouts.org online. Till next time, stay safe and stay strong.